Maperela se upote wanganibo. Maperela se upote wanganibo. Silifantija mona kala mebela tupai.
Hi, I'm Sarah Mayocker.
Sharpsburg Community Library, and you're watching the Midnight Edition of Media Squad. Haunted house trope is fairly well worn within the horror genre. Very often, an unsuspecting family moves into a home where something has happened long before they ever resided there, and strange events begin to happen. If you're looking for a refreshing take on this haunted house concept, I suggest The Good House by Tananarive Due. It's a haunted house story that's simultaneously an examination of parental grief and a correction of the sins of our ancestors. It's also a character-driven horror novel perfect for fans of the Haunting Anthology series on Netflix. And unlike all of those unsuspecting families in the other books that you're familiar with and the films that you have watched so many times, the protagonist Angela knows exactly what has happened in her home and uses root work to undo the damage of generations of issues. The Good House is available at the library and on Overdrive.
Let me zoom. I'm gonna sneak in for the kill. On second thought, maybe not.
Hey everybody, this is Kelly. I am absolutely in love with this terrifying, disturbing book. It's called The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones, who is an American Indian and writes from that perspective. The book is about 4 American Indian men who were friends from childhood, and they have kind of this traumatic experience together, and it's kind of how they manage this experience in their adult lives. It's very disturbing and scary, so it's a classic horror book. It's lyrical though, it's beautiful, and highly recommend this one if you're interested in getting a little spooked and reading a beautiful story.
Do you remember what your father and mother's last name was? Did something happen to you?
I don't know. I've been asked that many, many times.
I know, and I'm just asking you out of sincerity. I'm just, there had to be something that happened that made the track switch, that you forgot to be Jimmy Smith and became Clark Rockefeller.
Hi, I'm Jill McConnell, Executive Director for Cooper-Siegel Community Library. The book I chose for this month's review isn't necessarily scary, but it is disturbing. The Man in the Rockefeller Suit, The Astonishing Rise and Spectacular Fall of a Serial Imposter by Mark Seal is the unbelievable story of a man born in Germany named Christian Karl Gerhardtstreiter, who successfully assumed various identities over 28 years in an attempt to gain access to wealthy people. Gerhardtstreiter's lies and manipulations came to an abrupt end when he kidnapped his daughter and was arrested. 5 years later, he was also convicted of murdering a man who lived near him in California in the mid-1980s. That man's wife has never been found. This is a story of one unscrupulous man's insatiable desire to be seen as wealthy and powerful, and the actions he was willing to take to bring that persona to life. But it also explores our society's infatuation with the rich and famous, and how easily we turn a blind eye to strange behavior when it's exhibited by a person of that class. I thoroughly enjoyed this book, and I think you will too. It's available at the library in the True Crime section and as an ebook or audiobook on Libby.
Y ahora podéis apreciar la muda de la cigarra. A continuación hablaremos del ciclo vital. Las hembras ponen sus huevos y mueren poco después. Los insectos jóvenes o ninfas caen al suelo y penetran en la tierra.
Hi, it's Sarah Mayocker, Branch Manager of Sharpsburg Community Library, back again for more Midnight Edition mania. Think of elementary school and going to the restroom with a bunch of your friends, turning off the lights, standing in front of the mirror, and chanting a certain name 3 or 5 times. Maybe it was Bloody Mary or Candyman, or if you were from a certain section of South Texas, it might be La Reina de Cicadas, the Queen of the Cicadas, as described in V. Castro's amazing new novel, The Queen of the Cicadas. Belinda goes to a wedding in South Texas and finds herself embroiled in the history of this urban legend to the extent that it starts to take over her life. This examines a lot of gentrification and cultural issues, very similar to the more recent Candyman film from Nia DaCosta, but with a Latinx view. I highly recommend it. However, I will advise that there is a lot of body horror in this particular novel, as well as maternal death and several scenes involving parasitic pregnancy. So it might not be the perfect book for everyone, but if you are interested in viewing a new concept of the mirror legend through a Latinx, specifically Mexican lens, check out The Queen of the Cicadas, which is currently only available in print at your library.